I guess what I need to do first is just talk a little bit about the Rural Fire Service and what we are. We're a really big organisation in New South Wales, something like 70,000 personnel. 99% of those people are all volunteers, so we're a predominantly volunteer organisation with some staff, and I'm a staff member and Ros is, and we're here today to not only support our volunteers but also support our communities, and that's what the Rural Fire Service is all about. Not only about just supporting communities but helping out wherever we can. Now, believe it or not, we're not actually responsible for the town. We've got all the bush around it, so the Rural Fire Service looks after all the country areas basically. We don't specialise and we don't have responsibility for the towns themselves. But we do help work hand in hand with our fellow fire agency, the New South Wales Fire Brigade. They're the guys who live around the corner here in the fire station. So New South Wales is really lucky. It's got two very well organised and well resourced fire services to help out the community of New South Wales. I think you don't have to go far outside of town and talk to any of the rural people who live out there, and they've all got something to do with the Rural Fire Service, whether it's their members and they help their own communities, or whether they help out when the time comes when there's big fires. So we're really lucky in the far west of New South Wales that we don't have too many really big fires. We do have some, and when we do have a big fire we have a massive one, but luckily we don't have too many, so we're pretty lucky. And that's bushfires. But we certainly always have things like house fires and motor vehicle accidents and all those other things that the fire brigade and the police and the ambulance go along to every day. So it's really important that emergency services are well resourced and support the community. Now, has anyone seen members of the Rural Fire Service out and about doing things? You often see us at Anzac Day, and what else do we get involved in? All sorts of community things, going to the schools, and so we try and deal with everyone from when they're this high to when they're a little bit older. Okay. Or old, yeah. Don't worry, we're all heading there.
Some of us are there.
Some of us are. Okay, so one of the other things I want to talk a little bit about today was volunteering. Australia is a well-known and well-respected country in the world for the fact that many of its people volunteer to be in different organisations. Now, it probably goes back to, and of course this year is a very important year, it's the 100th centenary of Gallipoli and all those sorts of things. So you know, that back in those days Australians volunteered. They volunteered to go off to wars and do all sorts of things. Nowadays, of course, that volunteering spirit we try and push towards emergency services and helping out the community. And I guess it's really important for all of us to pass on to our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids how important it is to volunteer for your community and help each other out the best you can. So if we can continue to spread that good message down to the youngsters out there who often don't even think about volunteering because it's not so much in their psyche anymore, but if we can pass that on to them, it's got to be a great thing. So I'll encourage all of you, the same as anyone else here, to pass on those good words to the kids, because they need to know that it's a great thing to be able to do, to volunteer for your community and to help other people out. If you could do that for me, that'd be wonderful. All right, the one thing I did want to talk about today is smoke alarms. Now, of course, we're coming up to the end of daylight saving, and I'm sure that everyone will see on the TV over the next few days and weeks a bit of advertising about daylight saving is ending and it's time to change your smoke alarm batteries. So for all those people who live at home or who have got smoke alarms and they need their batteries changed, now is the time to do it. It's really, really important. A smoke alarm is absolutely no good to anybody if it doesn't work. So please remember to change your battery. If you need a hand to change your battery, for elderly people, the New South Wales Fire Brigade runs a really, really good program to come into people's houses and help change those batteries, and we support them in that. So if they're not available, well, I can find some people to come and do it as well. If you would like to have someone come and have a look at your smoke alarm, and change the battery for you. You can contact the Fire Brigade through Brad Lennon, and I guess through the council, or you can contact us up at the Fire Control Centre, and I'm sure John and everyone else will be able to pass on our contacts, and I think they might be in the show bags as well, Roz, are they? Maybe? Maybe. Okay, so really important stuff, and coming into winter especially, you know, house fires, kitchen fires, all those sorts of things, if they're ever going to happen, happens in the winter time when it's cold, people have fires going and so on. So if you can remember to do that for me, that'd be a wonderful thing. All right, I think I've talked a bit already and it's getting pretty warm out here. Now, has anyone got any questions about the Rural Fire Service or any of the other organisations? Because I might have had a foot in a couple of other camps at one stage or another. Has anyone got any questions for me?
Is there an age
to join?
on it? I mean, can anyone join, volunteer?
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. Yeah, look, there is a job for everybody as a volunteer. Now, whether it's if you wanted to, if an elderly person wanted to volunteer to join the Rural Fire Service, we're not going to put you on a fire truck and send you to a fire. But we may very well put a radio in your hand and teach you how to be a radio operator or something like that. Or help with catering, or there's a whole range of stuff, you know, a whole range of stuff. And every volunteer organisation is the same. We've all got different jobs for different people. And that's what it's all about. There's a position for everyone. Righto, is there any other questions? Please, if anyone needs anything from the Rural Fire Service, we're up on the Burke Road. Yep.
On the radio the other day, they were talking about use by date of smoke alarms, and they said that you can get smoke alarms that can last 10 years, but there's something in them that actually peters out after a certain time.
Yeah.
How do you know when that's happened?
Look, I think if you get the Fire Brigade boys in to check it, they'll be able to tell you that. But also, it's inside the thing. So if anyone can have a look when they change the battery, it should be written inside the machine itself. When you drop the cover down, there's a little bit of info in there, and it'll have a date. Yeah.
I got a 10-year one.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It'll have a date inside it when it expires.
But the fire guys will come and test it for
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
Where do you have to put your name down for that?
Look, if you want to leave your name with me today, I'll pass it on to Brad Lennon on Monday.
Yeah. And
Brad's the fire captain, and as I said, he apologised he couldn't turn up today. But if anybody would like to leave their name with me and their address, of course, and I'll pass it on to Brad Lennon.
Yeah. So the important thing about that, Brad, I've also talked to Brad, and he's had some difficulty keeping up on top of this stuff. Yep. So we've offered to help out as well. So now both organisations will be helping out with the smoke alarm stuff. Because it's pretty, as I said, we're all volunteers, and these guys can only commit what they can commit. So now we've got both organisations going to help. So if you can get those names, John, get them to me or Brad, and we can work together and work it out.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. So is there any other questions? Does anyone else like to ask me anything? All right, well look, thanks very much for having me here today. It was great to be able to have a chat to you. We're always here to help, so if you need a hand, don't be scared to sing out for it.
Thanks very much, Chris.
Thank you.